see your name in the back. Good job, Coach. Just spot there. You're in between. Good evening, everyone. This is the post-game press conference following Game 4 on Day 1 of the 2026 SoCon Women's Basketball Championship Tournament. We are now joined by the Furman Paladins. We have with us head coach Pierre Curtis, along with student athletes Alyssa Ervin and Clare Coyle. We will have a statement from Coach followed by questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. We have a mic for you. Give your name and your media entity before asking your question. Just one quick point to note. Tonight's 27 points by Alyssa is the most by a SoCon, the most by a Furman Paladin player in a SoCon tournament since 1994 when Rusha Brown had 37. So that's how good Miss Brown was. That you had 27 and it's still 10 more, but that's not bad.
Right.
Coach, opening statement.
I mean, the good thing is that Rusha still comes around, and she actually just did our last game. So, and we talked about how special Rusha is and was to the program, and so that's a big time achievement. But for me, the way I'll just speak on that. The way she did it was really more impressive. Like 8 for 15. Like 7 for 8 from the free throw line. There's a really efficient 27, no forces. But as a group, I thought really proud of this team. We went through a rough stretch in that second half of conference, and with us having a pretty young team, it could go one way or another. And we kind of made it a point to just go back to the basics of who we were and who we are. And it started the last game, and then today, I think we had all the right intentions in the first half. We just missed some shots, overthrew some passes, and we knew that once we started connecting on passes that we always throw. We practice every day, and we started connecting on some shots that we knew we were going to get, that we had a chance to kind of take over the game. And for the defensive effort that we had today in that second half, that was special. So we've had two really, really big defensive performances in a row, and today was a special defensive performance. So I'm happy for them. I thought Claire toughed through it. We got a little foul trouble, but you can't game plan for someone like Clare Coyle because she's still going to get whatever it is. You could take away some of the offensive touches, but she's going to get it on the offensive glass. She's going to run out and transition. So people try to game plan for these two, but sometimes what they do is you just got to kind of tip your hat off to them.
Questions, front row?
Yeah,
Monty Dutton, DH10 Sports. Normally I would ask some stupid question like, how did you manage to pull away in the second half? But 46 turnovers, and you look at the basic numbers of the game, it's not hard to figure at all. You really just absolutely stop them. So you said that, it was an overwhelming second half performance, and I'm sure Alyssa and Claire might be able to let some insight into it.
Alyssa, you want to try?
Sure. I came into the locker room at halftime. He said we got to go out there and do what we've been practicing on, and I think that's what we did. We didn't force anything. Our shots fell, and there's stuff to make. They stopped making all their shots in the post, and I think we pulled away.
I think we just really locked into our defensive game plan. We talked all week about staying in gaps and just making it really tough for them to score in the paint, and I think that's what really has changed for us in the second half.
Third row.
Hunter Reed, Sports Information Furman. Coach, a lot of things jump off the stat sheet in looking at this game, but you've already alluded to that the second half defense, they shot 20% from the field. If you can just talk a little bit about, some of the adjustments. Game 3, there aren't any secrets among teams in the league. What did you guys do differently in the second half defensively to really just shut them down?
Yeah, I think one big part of it was we stopped turning the ball over. Right, we had 11 turnovers in the first half, and we only had 5 in the second half, and we made them play in the half court. Right, they couldn't get out in transition, so we made them play in the half court. And also, I think, like Claire said, we we knew 2 weeks ago we didn't put our best foot forward when we played them, and for us to give up however many points we got, 80 points in that game, we knew we had to do something a little bit different. But we wanted to just see if they could make some contested shots, and that was all it was. We were going to be in the gap, keep them out of the paint. We know they're a team that is a mid-range and paint scoring team, so we wanted to see if we could force them to take some contested threes instead of open layups and pull-ups. And to the girls' credit, they executed to a T in the second half. But the biggest part was we were able to keep them out of transition by scoring the ball. And then our half-court defense we thought was pretty good in the first half already. So it was just about not putting ourselves in bad positions in that way.
Second row.
Steve with Greenville Sports Media. Coach, your team shot 46% from the field and 43.8% from three. What does that tell you about your team's shot selection tonight?
They know. I mean, we're in postseason now, right? They know exactly what shots they're going to get in our offense. So they practice them. This team works hard, man. They stay in the gym. We don't even have to do much shooting in practice because their individual workouts they do on their own. They know what shots they're going to get, and they're working extra hard. And these are two of the hardest workers on the team, and that the work speaks for itself. That's why they were all conference, and that's why they could come in here and score the ball the way they did. But the shots we got in the second half, even in the first half, those are shots that they practice all day, every day. So and they knew when they were coming, and they took them confidently.
Alyssa, can I ask you a question real quick? Can you think about to your past, any other game you've ever had a game like this? Because I'm looking across not just the points scored, but you had 5 steals, you dish out 3 assists, you got 6 rebounds, you led the game high, 5 fouls drawn. Just Coach talked about the efficiency shooting. Can you just talk about the overall game? How's this rank compared to other games for you? These are good numbers.
I think once I seen the first 2 shots go in, I was ready to play, and then sometimes my defense can be a little rocky. And tonight I really wanted to win, so I was like, we gotta lock in for real. And I don't know, I think I was in the gaps better than I usually am. I was able to get some steals, but I don't know. We just had a good game.
I must be touching on something here because
There were 6 rebounds. I was wow. We've been just challenging her to be down the ball a lot more, and I didn't even realize that. So that was the goal. You met your goal with the rebounds. Good job. And then
Hunter.
Well, Mike, you stole my question.
Oh gosh.
But you're a former SID, so we think alike. But I wanted to ask Claire. Claire, obviously they were keying on you in the first half. I mean, you get the ball in the post, and you had defender on your left, right, and one behind. Looked like second half you responded by really kicking that ball to the wing, and you got Alyssa out there really gunning. Just talk about responding to that first half pressure with what you did in the second half. The ball movement by the whole team was really, really markedly improved in that second half.
I think it's just I was trying to focus on making the right play at the time. I mean, we have great offensive shooters and people who can attack from the perimeter, so it's kind of just trying to find the open man if there's a double team, or just trusting that my teammates will do the right thing and do what I know they can.
Time for one more.
My friend Hunter and I have been stealing each other's questions right before we ask them. However, how seamless was the transition from a second half domination of Wofford leading into a similar performance here? I mean, with similar, contrary and contrast, as professors say.
I think we just push the ball well. It's an emphasis for our team to push in transition. So I think it's just carrying over our momentum from one game to the next. And I think that's what we try to really focus on, is just building momentum in the games.
Coach, you want to try to maybe speak to that too?
Yeah. What I'll say is our 2 totally different type of teams, right? Wofford and how Wofford scores and how Mercer scores. But what I will tell you is that we saw how dominant defensively that game was, right? I think they scored 42 points. So that was the blueprint of how are we going to win in the tournament? How have we won all year? And it was, so we knew that defensively we had to be really, really good and locked in. A different game plan, but the same emphasis on the defensive side of the ball, and now you give up 45 points. So it was kind of one of those transition, if you want to say, type of thing.
Well, Coach, thank you to you and your players. Congratulations.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.